Hi guys, this is Dan. Welcome to Angle Guys. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your support. Your subscriptions mean the world to me. This is the, why is it not broadcasting to YouTube and Facebook? Oh God, what's going on? Try that again. Come on. Oh, there's YouTube. Come on, Facebook. It's not, oh, there we go. Okay, now we're broadcasting all three. All right, perfect. So for those of you that are subscribing over on Patreon, I greatly appreciate it. In the comments section, you'll see a Linktree link that I just posted. In there is the links to all of my different ways of getting a hold of me, following me on social media, all of that sort of stuff. Please feel free to utilize it. This is the monthly forecast for the month of April for the sign of Pisces. So if you have a sun, moon, or rising in the sign of Pisces, or heavily placed planets, which I would consider 3 or more to be heavily placed, you're going to want to watch this video just to get an indication of what kind of a month you might be having. It is a broad spectrum reading, so I use terms and things to keep it broad so that most people can associate with it as best they can. If things do make sense, it does fit in your life, please feel free to utilize it in the best way that you know how. If it doesn't make sense, that's okay. It doesn't mean anything's wrong. It just might mean that you're working on something different, or the degrees to which, you know, each planet is in each house. All of that stuff can affect Tarotscope. So kind of take what you need and leave the rest is the analogy here. We do have a daily forecast that happens every day for the greater collective. That's all signs. You can tune into that every morning here on the channel on YouTube. Feel free to subscribe and hit the thumbs up. If you're watching over on Facebook on the business page, please go over to YouTube and subscribe and hit the thumbs up over there too. All right, so for the signifier card for the month of April, I decided for the water signs I was going to use the Queen of the Moon Oracle, and I just felt like this was appropriate because Queen of the Moon sounded good. The moon affects the tides, you know, being closely associated with water, or tides actually being water, I should say, but also Cancer. For the month of April for the Pisces, or for what we might need to be focused on, that sort of a thing. So let's see what comes out for Pisces. Okay, interesting. This is abundance, card number 38, which would be an 11, actually, which is a master number. 8, 9, 10, 11. Yes, that's a master number, abundance. Let me get her fully into the screen here. So she's definitely got a fall theme to her. She kind of reminds me of the Queen of Pentacles. It's funny, I was just on the a Zoom call with a friend of mine who was doing a reading for me, and she saw the Queen of Pentacles in my reading, and this is giving me that vibe too. It's the Hunter Moon, right? So there is this sort of fertility to her, this aspect and connection to nature for her that Pisces should tap into. We might want to pay attention to the signs, symbols, and synchronicities that are going on around us. In the fall is usually when we harvest, so I would expect good things to be coming to us in this month of April. That would also be the idea of abundance here. Allowing things also, because the fall is a time of recession, right? Where plants go into sort of dormancy, animals will go into, what do they call it? When hibernation. I couldn't remember the word for hibernation. You know what I'm saying? Like things start to peel back, slow down, that sort of a thing. So April might be a month of that for Pisces. So take time to sort of slow down your energy a little bit and look at the beauty and the abundance that is around you, the signals from the environment, from nature, that are showing you that your beautiful little teary-eyed souls are supported. Okay, Pisces? And this is sign number 11, which is a master number ultimately, which I love that. So that means that this is going to be a month where hopefully we gain some sort of grand wisdom or mastery over something in our lives, hopefully our connection to ourselves and our universe. I am going to read the story because I read all of the Queen of the Moon stories for the water signs, just because the water signs, y'all are a special bunch. So Hunter Moon, abundance. That should be my porn name. It's Hunter Moon. How about Hunter Poon? Oh my God, Pisces, I did not just say that. All right, abundance. Take advantage of this time of abundance. It is all around you. Possibility and opportunity are everywhere. You are open and responsive to the abundance around you. There is enough for everyone. Oh, is there ever, huh, Pisces? Here's a little statement that you might want to make during this month. I am abundant and I am surrounded by opportunity. I added that goddammit in there. The Hunter Moon is the traditional moon of plenty. It was when game was at its most plentiful, so the people would not go hungry. The moon was large and bright in the sky, and in some cases deep orange, and there was a great deal of light to go hunting well into the evening. Our ancient ancestors couldn't just go off to the supermarket to buy what they needed to eat. Well, you know what? Our ancestors now can't even get toilet paper in the midst of a crisis, so don't feel so bad. That I added that part. Meat didn't come on trays wrapped in plastic. Eggs were gathered. Warm clothing was made from skins of the same animals that were hunted for meat. Nothing was wasted. This abundance was part of a cycle, just like any other. It wasn't present all the time, so this time of the year was to be taken advantage of while the going was good. The barrenness of winter would soon return. Hunters had to be prepared. They had to have their weapons ready and their tracking skills honed. As modern people, we are less used to these natural cycles of plenty and barrenness because most of us have stepped away from the growing food and the natural environment, However, these cycles are still there, even if we are not part of them consciously. The moon normally rises in October in the northern hemisphere, and so was before the winter snows. Companion stone or metal would be citrine. That would associate with your third chakra, which is your power and energy center too. So that's a pretty powerful stone. Hey, Ellen Jane, how are you? Hey, Nancy, how are you? So let's see what Pisces needs to know for them. This looks like this is a beautiful month to get back in sync with the cycles of goodness, of like the card says abundance, and to, create what it is that we need, not wasting anything. I really like that concept too with this card. I love that idea of not wasting anything that we do, say, feel. Get it, April. Let's do it. All right, let's see. This first card is the center where my Pisces are centered at for this month. You'll go in and out of this card. It does not mean that you'll be in this card the entirety of the month, but it gives us insight not only into kind of where we're at and where we're operating from, but what we also could potentially be creating for the future. So let's see what that is. All right, so we'll take it. It's the Knight of Wands. This is fire energy. So this kind of does key into this abundance a little bit to me because it's about taking action and desire. It's about creating our own, taking care of our own needs. Knights would be that of service, right? Or I'm sorry, this is the knave, not the knight. So this is the page. This would be about learning how to take action, when to take action, where to take action, going towards the things that we want, ideally. There's usually a little bit of a youthful exuberance to the pages or knaves. I would say that this might be a bit of a playful energy for some of my Pisces. Maybe having fun, not taking things too seriously, learning as we go, kind of flying by the seat of our pants a little bit. Some of us might like planners. I don't get a planning card or being able to plan so much for what's going on around us. We're kind of taking it in the moment and moving with it quickly. That's sort of the swiftness of the Wands energy. Wands is the element of spirit and fire, that of action and desire. So when I look at this knave here, it's like we're learning to move, boom, 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 right? We're taking action, like this whole hunter-gatherer cycle that we heard about in the Hunter Moon card. And also these reds and oranges that we see here kind of mirror that fieriness of the wands, of the Knave of Wands. It's about learning when to reap, when to harvest, when to reward for us this month, when to go in for the kill, so to speak. And I'm talking metaphorically, Pisces. I know some of y'all have some knives hidden somewhere. Don't use them, okay? I'm just saying, don't use them. But know when to go in for the kill, when to attack, or like take that risk, take that chance. It may not feel totally self-assured, right? Because that knave is somebody that needs to learn or is, I don't want to say uneducated, but maybe slightly youthful and undereducated. We are learning as we go this month, but we will have fun. That's sort of the feeling that I get with this Knave of Wands. I feel like we'll learn in a way that will be exciting and fun, and hopefully we'll have some say in it, where we're not necessarily a victim to our surroundings. We're actually working in conjunction with our surroundings. And we also see that again reflected here with all of nature coming around this beautiful woman and sort of kind of guarding her and communing with her at the same time, where she becomes one with her environment. The Knave will teach us that too. Now, the next card is the Foundation card. This is the card that everything's built upon from the past, that opened the door for everything to be the way that it is today. This card can represent also the memory of this card, right, from the past can represent sort of what's driving things into the future or what holds everything in place. So we need to be aware of this card. Ah, perfect Pisces card. This is the Three of Swords. Now, swords is not Pisces energy. It's air energy, right? But it's the mind. And the heart always makes me think of Pisces. The hurt heart, the three swords through it, the sadness, the rain, even though it has nothing to do with water. But this being our foundation, ooh, makes me want to cry a little bit for you guys. And that's very much a Pisces thing, right? There may have been some past pain, things that we've suffered in the last year or two, or, you know, maybe for some of us, myself included, the last decade, that have been hard, right? And we're well aware of the harshness of that history, right? Let's just call this card like the history card, even though I call it the foundation. But what we're dealing with here, or what I feel like I'm seeing here, especially with that Knave of Wands in the center and this Three of Swords as the foundation, is that whatever heartache, upset, invalidation, pain, unacknowledgement, just those sort of situations that we've suffered throughout our lives, those things might be kind of have been what's driving us for, like, let's say the last few years of our life, right? We've maybe been making decisions from those places of fear. Like, I almost get a feeling when I'm looking at this card, like, how do I want to describe it? Like, as if you're an abused child and you're making your decisions in your adult life from that state of abuse, even though you're unaware of it. Does that make sense to you, right? Like, it's like the pain that we see in these three swords driven through this heart is the core essence of where we've been making our decisions. And I feel like we're trying to shift that with this Knave of Wands. The Knave would be about learning some new way of being, some new way of interacting with our world from the state of Wands, which would be that of the spirit or desire, right? I honestly feel like with this Three of Swords, and I might be interpreting this a little bit through my own experience because I'm a Pisces myself, but this Three of Swords to me feels very much like a long, hard road we've been on. Oh. And maybe it's time to stop, right? Maybe it's time to kind of, the beauty of the Three of Swords is about, like, when we pull those three swords out of that heart, we're still left with this big, beautiful heart, right? And I think that's kind of definitely a very much a Pisces trait, is that as sensitive as we can be and as emotional as we can be, underneath all of that sensitivity and emotion is this beautiful beating, like, soul or heart that really is incomparable to most any other sign on the zodiac, right? We can be some of the most nurturing, loving, caring people, but we can also get ourselves really hurt and we can become, you know, put ourselves into really sort of vulnerable situations that affect us for a long time, right? And that's sort of what I'm feeling with these cards. Now, with this Abundance card here and the Hunter Moon, to me, I feel like we go from being the hunted to the hunter. Do you see what I'm saying? And we may have to learn that a little bit through this Knave of Wands experience of doing what feels right, taking action in that way and learning in the moment. And we are letting our past experiences somewhat temper the decisions we make, but I don't feel like we're being led by them like we might have been in the past. I get a feeling that this Three of Swords was much more larger in our life in the past or in other decisions that we've made. The Knave of Wands is a departure from that. Does that make sense? Like, it's an opportunity or a new chapter of being opened up where we get to learn something new and operate something in a different way. And so hopefully we're willing to let go of some of the memories, the past hurts, the mistakes that we maybe have made or others have made against us, that sort of thing. And that's what this Three of Swords is as our foundation. Is not only does it remind us of those things, but I feel like it's also an opportunity for us to let those things go or set them free. Now, the next card is the Spirit or Soul card. This is the card that's above you. And it tells me a bit about sort of what your spirit or soul wants you to focus on. This is beautiful. This is the Knight of Cups. So this would be water element energy. This is Pisces, Scorpio, Cancer energy. The Knight being sort of service, loyalty, discernment, all of those wonderful things that I think that a knight carries, right? The knight does the right things for the right reasons. And this knight in particular in this deck, he's on the back of a turtle, which I love, which means like slow and steady wins the race, right? When we're slow and steady, we're close to the ground. We can go both through the water and the land, right? We can go through our emotions, and we can also be productive and material, like use those emotions to sort of make material things happen for ourselves. The Knight of Cups is always like a love offering too. And when I think about this being in the spirit space, it says to me that I feel like Pisces needs to honor like who they are. This feels like it's almost like our own soul telling us like it's okay. The way that people maybe have treated you isn't who you are. This is who you are, right? And that's the Knight of Cups, right? The strength, the beauty, the service, the ability to give, the compassion that comes from the Knight of Cups, right? And there's probably been times in our history or in our past where we've given to people that maybe weren't so deserving, and we didn't realize that until it was too late. And that's where these Three of Swords moments settle in, right? Where these swords get landed into our heart. But what I think our spirit is trying to say here is don't forget about this aspect of who we are and how beautiful that is and how strong that can be. And that the service that we bring and that we give, even if it's in error or has been in error in the past, it's never wrong or a bad part of us. It's something that should be embraced, and it's something that should be celebrated, right? So that's your spirit or soul card. The next, sorry guys. Whew. The next two cards are the outside influences. These can be things that are affecting us either positively or negatively. During the month of April, they can sometimes be people or events, sometimes things more vague like belief systems or energies that are having an effect on us. So the first card is the Empress. I'm not mad at her, let's say that. The Empress is major arcana. She's definitely fertility. She definitely gives me these abundance hunter moon vibes. She's definitely connected to the earth and fertility, to the cycles of life, to nature, to creation, to creative ideas, to creative thought, to new opportunities, to even birth, like literally. Like some of y'all could be having a baby. But with the Empress here, she's also major arcana. So this is big ups, right? This is big, good stuff for you guys. That Three of Swords has just got me down there in the foundation. It just makes me wonder about some of my Pisces people and like how much or how long we've been suffering in silence. So anyways, Empress is associated with the sign of Venus, which is the planet of love, which also coincides nicely with that Knight of Cups. That Knight of Cups is like definitely always usually in traditional readings an offering of love, right? And so when we're able to love ourselves like our spirit would want us to do through that Knight of Cups, the Empress's energy through situations, people, life in general in the month of April can come to us and love us too. She can offer us opportunities for growth, creativity, abundance, just all sorts of different opportunities to create what we need, what we want, and what we deserve. But I feel like my Pisces need to get away from this stuff and more up into this stuff to realize truly what they deserve and to receive the abundance that's available to them in the month of April. The Knave of Wands indicates that we will, and we will learn how and we will work hard at doing so. We will be earnest in that work and hopefully optimistic. But the past for Pisces can be a dragon or something that like a sling that we have to, sort of bear in a way. And it sits there, but it's our work to be done. And it is work that is of value to us ultimately, because it will free us from the past or from the pain that we've carried with us. Does that make sense? So the next outside influence, oh Jesus, fuck me, is the Tower. Oh my God, Pisces. All right. Tower is like disruption times 10. Let's just say this. I don't want you guys freaking out. I don't mind this Empress, and I almost feel like this could be two different paths, Pisces, for you guys. Like I see this in this way. If some of my Pisces decide to choose to love themselves and go the route of their higher self and really treat themselves with compassion and kindness, you could very much experience the benefits from the outside universe of the Empress. If some of you choose to sink into your lower vibrational space of the past, remembering that everything is shit, I've always gotten shit, it's always going to be shit, you're going to probably experience Tower-like experiences where shit falls apart. The rug gets pulled out from under you. Ultimately, though, I will say this: the Tower, although it's disruptive and life-changing as a rule, and usually not comfortably life-changing, let's say that, Pisces, it's usually disruptive. It will bring about change that will put us on more surer-footed ground than we were originally on. Does that make sense? And with that 3 of Swords in the foundation space, it says that the ground that we're on right now is old, outdated, from the past, probably doesn't even belong to us and needs to be let go of anyways. So if we're unwilling to let go of that, we are going, it's like kind of like, now I'm getting this visualization, and it's funny because we have this like sort of giver goddess earth woman here. I'm getting this visualization of, if we want the fruit, we're gonna have to shake the fucking tree, right? And so like either we go up here with love and we shake the tree lovingly, and the Empress daintily gives us that fruit and that fertility and all those wonderful things that she offers. Or if we go down here and we don't believe there's any fruit and fuck that tree and I don't care, well, the tree is going to get shook, goddammit. And we're going to probably get bonked in the head with the fruit a couple of times. It's sort of how I'm seeing this reading. The Tower ultimately is not a bad experience. It's just, it is I shouldn't say that. The Tower ultimately ends up not being a bad experience, in the sense that usually it shifts in such a way that we look back at it in hindsight and go, oh, I needed to go through that to get to this point. So we start to understand it, but it's only well until later is how I view the Tower. For some of you, you could experience both of these experiences, both the Tower and the Empress. You could experience shifts and changes that could be like, mood altering, right? Where you're like, fuck, I didn't see that coming. But ultimately in rushes the Empress behind it, showing you opportunity behind the disruption. Does that make sense? So I don't want you to freak out if things start to shift or change. Like, I'm just using my life as an example. Last month I was in a car accident, lost my vehicle, completely fucking lost it. Money and everything that I invested into it, the trade in value, everything. I just found that out on Friday. And so that would be sort of probably my Tower moment, right? Or a Tower moment for me. But it's really how I choose to relate to that. And I'm doing the best that I know how, right now. But the way that I would interpret these cards is, like rising to that higher place of that Knight of Cups and loving myself and being compassionate to myself through that process versus fighting against it. It's going to make it an easier process to walk through versus resisting it, fighting it, and being tossed and turned in it like the Tower would indicate, right? So this is all for April for us guys. So that means that I could lose other things other than my car, for fuck's sake. I can't even stand to think about that. But if that's possible, it's possible. Ultimately, though, we got to remember we have this Hunter Moon, this abundance card, right? Where it's about cycles of feast and famine. And we can see feast and famine in the Tower Empress influences on either side of us, right? Empress being feast, Tower being famine, right? The winter, fall kind of correspondence of getting into the cycle of things, rolling with it. The other thing that I will say about the Tower that I do like about the Tower is the Tower is always doing for us what we are unwilling to do for ourselves, even if we know we need to, right? So if there's a situation that's built on faulty circumstances, right? And say it's a relationship or a job or something that we do out of need or fear that we don't actually enjoy, usually the Tower is going to be the very thing that comes in and disrupts that and pulls it away from us, whether we like it or not. We'll scramble and we'll be like, oh, fuck no, I need this job. I can't. I need the money. But you know what? It's that very same, it's like we took that job out of some sort of fear. Does that make sense? Or some sort of worry. And we hated that job to begin with, if we really asked ourselves those questions. But we have to deal with those truths this month, guys. Yay. It is an 11 month. I will say that. So we are getting a little bit of that mastery here. We're learning how to deal with this. We've also got another 3 and a 3 here. Do you see the number 3 in the Empress and the 3 and the 3 of Swords? So that's kind of interesting. We have 2 Knights. So we have a lot of doubles going on here. Let's look at the last card, which would be the potential outcomes for Pisces in the month of April. So now this card, when I say potential outcome, it means it is not set in stone. It's just sort of where things are naturally heading right now, barring that nothing major changes, right? It's a little foresight into the future. But we can use this card as a warning to make choices and changes through free will to affect the outcome, right? So it's not set in stone, and there will be variables to all of these cards for each and every one of you, because each and every one of you are individual and having different experiences. But if we like this card, we can take heart in the fact that we're naturally heading towards this, and we can just kind of keep going about the status quo. But if we don't like this card, there's opportunity for us to use it, our free will and our discernment, to change it. So let's see what we've got. Okay, we've got the 5 of Cups. Not the best outcome for the Pisces, let's just say that. 5 of Cups is like crying over spilt milk. 5 of Cups to me is about like sort of maybe getting too caught up in the Tower moment and being too emotionally involved, right? Because it is cups. 5 of Cups could be, it's interesting how we have those 3 cups that are spilt and we see those 3 swords through the heart. Are we still, by month's end, still focused on the past and the pain that we carry from experiences we can't let go of? The interesting thing about the 5 of Cups is it's usually somebody dwelling upon what they don't have versus being able to see what they do. And that's the 2 of Cups that sit behind the cat here, right? There's also a whole river where he could just reload his cups if he wanted to, but he's not seeing that. He's only like commiserating with the loss of those 3 cups. And we have these 3 swords here. And to me, I feel like there's so much more going on around him that we need to see. Now, we don't have to be destined to this 5 of Cups, like, oh, poor me moment at the end of April. We can embrace the gifts that are being given, even through the hardship of the Tower, because who knows, maybe that the abundance and the fertility that the Empress offers is actually what's on offer through that Tower experience. But we have to go through that Tower experience and that dismantling before we can be rebuilt again. We just need to trust that we can be rebuilt, and we will be with this abundance card. It's all parts of cycles, Pisces, like that card first said in the reading. The sooner we can get graceful with the Tower, if it's happening to us, the better off we're going to be. I mean, yes, I know it's easier said than done. Trust me, I'm dealing with it now with my vehicle, but I find that when I just go with it and I'm like, okay, fine, maybe I just won't have a car for a while, things get easier. It's weird. And so that's what I feel like Tower moments are there to teach us about too, is they're there to sort of teach us how to have grace, how to be pliable, how to trust more, how to allow ourselves to be carried. And right now, I think that we will be carried, especially with those 2 Knights cards, the Knave of Wands, and then the Knight of Cups, and the Empress. Those cards will carry us, and they'll carry us quite beautifully and carefully if we allow them to. But if we're too caught up in what's not working, too focused on what's gone on in the past and where we've been hurt before, and we're making decisions from those experiences, right? Because that's that 3 of Swords in our foundation. If we're making decisions from those places, automatically expecting those same results each and every time, even in the midst of the chaos of the Tower. We could find ourselves by month's end regretting things, like through that Five of Cups. Does that make sense? We're not seeing things as clearly. Fives ultimately are transitional, right? So, it will only be a periodic letdown, let's say that. But we also get a choice as far as the transitional nature of that five, of how long we want to focus on what we've lost, and for how long we want to carry that with us. And to me, with that Three of Swords in the foundation, it really looks like some of my Pisces could have been carrying this around for quite some time. And so let's let it go. I hope that makes sense, you guys. I'm interested to see how your guys' April goes. I'm a little bit interested to see how my April goes. I have Pisces. I'm like, not only am I a Pisces sun, but I feel like I'm a heavily placed Pisces because I have a Pisces sun, a Pisces Mercury, and a Pisces Venus. So I'm a triple, like I have 3 planets in Pisces. So not only am I a Pisces sun, but I'm also heavily placed. So I think that these cards hold extra special meaning for me, and I'm afraid to find out how. I mean, I'm not mad at the Knight of Cups or the Empress. Let's just say that. I think that those are beautiful cards. Even the Knave of Wands isn't a bad card. The Tower is a little disruptive, and I feel like I've dealt with enough disruption in the last decade, but who knows? Maybe that's what this whole last decade's been about, is to get me used to being graceful in the disruption. All right, so that is your Pisces forecast. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please hit the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you feel so inclined. Leave me a comment or question. I always love to read those and answer them if I need to. If you're interested in your own April reading personally, you can Facebook me at the Facebook business page, and I can answer any questions there in regards to booking a reading, a private reading. Follow all of my socials if you can. I'm gonna go take a nice salt bath really quick. And then I'll be back to do the charmings for Sunday night in just a little bit. So I'll be back live to do charmings. If you're interested in purchasing a charming, stay tuned and just come back on when I get on. And that will be available to you later in a little bit. But I am gonna go bathe off the energy of these readings really quick so that I can start fresh for the charmings. All right, you guys, have a great April. It will be transformative for sure, especially with that Tower and that Empress, those major arcana cards at play in the outside environment, the outside influences. And I will see you guys soon. All right, take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.